Hello gentlemen, and welcome back. Today is a slightly different sort of video because today I'm not going to be giving advice, I'm not going to be saying what to do, I'm simply going to be explaining something I'm going to be doing over winter break. I'm going to call this the winter break winter arc. I know it's cringe, but whatever. It's what we're calling it for now. So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, and maybe if you want you can follow along, do something similar, your own sort of challenge along the same lines. So let's get right into it. Now, like I said in my goal setting and journaling video, we're going to be breaking down this challenge into 4 major parts. Now, the first one of these parts, and the part which comes sort of before the others and encompasses the others, is what I call the intellectual part. Now, for myself, I'm going to be breaking this down into 2 separate challenges. The first one of these is going to be reading the entirety of the Brothers Karamazov. Now, if you want to follow along and do something similar, but you don't want to read the Brothers Karamazov, or have already read it, go and choose another book that's at your reading level that you want to complete over break, and make sure it's a book that you can complete. Now, the second part of this intellectual section is going to be keeping a journal. Now, it can be anything. I got this off Amazon for like $5, and there's going to be 2 things I'm going to be using this journal for. The first of these is writing a journal entry every day, just something I'm thinking, something I want to do, whatever that may be. And that has a double purpose. Number 1, I'm writing, which is helping me think. And number 2, I'm writing, so I'm trying to improve my handwriting. Now, the second thing that you're going to use this journal for, if you're following along, and what I'll be using it for, is keeping track of all of my goals. And now we're just going to jump into the next set of those goals. Now, the next set of those goals, and you'll remember this if you were watching, have watched, I should say, my journaling and goal setting video, is the physical. Physical goals are, for me, the easiest to achieve. And so for this break, I'm going to be setting a couple goals. The first one's kind of goofy, and that's just to be able to do the Bring Sally Up, Bring Sally Down challenge. It's just this push-up challenge that was pretty popular a bit back, and I used to be able to do it, and I've kind of fallen out being able to do that, so I'm going to work on that. The second challenge for me is just going to make sure I get in a walk every single day. This is something I've been doing just generally speaking, and I kind of fell off near the end of the semester, so I'm going to be trying to do that every single day. Simple challenges like these. I might add a couple more things like going to the gym once a week or something along those lines, but those are my challenges for the physical. It doesn't need to be complicated, it doesn't need to be hard. In fact, the simpler it is and the less time it takes, the more likely you are to actually be able to do it, which is why I've set these 2 very small, very simple challenges for my physical goals. Now, for this winter break, winter arc, I'm not going to set myself that massive of a moral goal, and the reason for this is moral goals I have found are the hardest ones to build. It's really easy to do whatever amount of push-ups. It's really kind of easy to read a book. It's really easy to pray once a day, whatever the other sets of goals are. But moral goals are difficult because they involve an actual change inside of you. And so the moral goal I'm going to be working on is an increase in the virtue of prudence and an increase in the virtue of great soulness, as Cicero called. Now, these things really go hand in hand, which is why I'm saying I want to increase in both of them, because great soulness is a sort of disinterest in human affairs, and what that means is an unaffectedness, the ability to remain unaffected. This is a very stoic virtue, but I also think it's very important for the virtue of prudence, because it's easier to know the right thing to do when you're more detached from a situation. So these are the virtues I'm going to be trying to increase within myself. I'd highly recommend using Cicero's On Obligations as a way to examine oneself and the virtues one needs to grow in. And maybe I'll do a video on Cicero's On Obligations, or a couple. Let me know in the comments if you would like that. Anyways, those are my moral challenges for myself over this winter break, winter arc challenge. Actually, it's starting to grow on me. The name's starting to grow on me. But I guess we'll move on to the next set of challenges, which is the spiritual challenges I'm going to place for myself. Now, spiritual challenges I'm going to place for myself. We're in Advent right now, so what sort of challenges am I going to place? First, I'm going to try to get back into saying the Angelus every day. I've been slacking on that. And then the second thing I want to do is to make sure I am going to Mass at least twice a week. This is something, again, I've been slacking on. These, again, it's only a couple weeks, so small challenges are the best. And maybe I'll also challenge myself to memorize another of the Psalms. I already have Psalm 23 memorized. I'd highly recommend memorizing that if you haven't already. It's one of the best Psalms to recite to oneself when you're having a hard time, when something's bothering you. Psalm 23 is always there. It's a great psalm. William Wallace It was his battle prayer. I think it was also said by Robert the Bruce. Great psalm, great prayer. Well, now you guys have heard what I'm going to be doing for my winter break, winter arc, along with some other things. Obviously, I'm going to be trying to work more. I'm going to trying to increase how I am as a person, generally speaking. What I would love to hear is in the comments what you plan to do this winter break. Challenge yourself, do better, make yourself a better person. I will be posting updates on different parts of my challenges and how I'm doing with those, so you guys can follow along for those. I'll probably make a separate playlist for all of these just so they aren't like interfering too much with the Gentleman's Course, which will be back along with other sorts of videos over the break. That's one of the things I'm going to try to do in this winter break, winter arc. I think that's all. You all have a great day and a great rest of your Advent, and I'll see you all later. Bye.